Hello and good evening. I am so excited to share these gift card holders with you. I call them my secret gift card holders because if you don't put a gift card in them and you just open them up, it looks like a very regular card. And because of that, it's perfect. You can use it every day, just as a regular card, put a little bit of a message in there. But if you so choose and you want to use it as a gift card holder, then there's this really nice little slot that you can just slip a gift card into, and or you could put like some cash or a check, anything in that secret little pocket. And then when someone opens it, not only is it a card, but it's also a gift card holder. And I do find they actually stick pretty well, like they don't just fall out. So it's kind of magical. Regular card, no one knows the wiser, or cute little gift card. So I have 4 different designs today that I'd like to share. The first one we're going to look at is the one using the Penguin Plays bundle in the Holiday Mini catalog. Before I kind of get started on that, though, I'm going to kind of show you the general cutting dimensions for all of these gift cards, and then you have that in your back pocket. The other thing I should mention is this is a kit that I put together for customers of mine. So if that's something that you're interested in, of course, I can't do it by Stampin' Up policy. I can't do any of the stamping. But as you can see, the cards here actually, and when you kind of watch the video, there's actually minimal stamping. The only stamping that there actually is all of your sentiments, which is something that you could use whatever is in your stamping stash, as well as stamping the eyes and the beak of the penguin. And if you don't have that stamp set, that's something that you could always take a marker and draw in. The deer one, depending on whether you had the coordinating stamp set, I have an option for either using just the designer series paper for the deer, or using crumb cake and then stamping the deer on top. So if that's something that you're interested, basically all of the embellishments and cardstock and punched out and die cut pieces all come to you in an envelope by Canada Post. You can message me for pricing, and I'd be very happy to share that with you, as well as pop your kit into the mail. Okay, so let's get started with the little Penguin Place gift card holder here. Now this one I did in the Just Jade, but the one that I have next we're going to do is using the Misty Moonlight paper. So it is, I basically took an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I cut it in half at 5.5 inches. So this would be the length on the side of the 11 inches, cut it at 5.5, took that piece, scored it at 4.25 inches. And then a little bit, not sure if my paper cutter is going to show up here. I took and I lined it up in my paper cutter at the 4-inch mark. And what's lovely about this is I then took and I cut. I'm not going to do it again because I'll probably end up in the wrong place. Using a cutting blade, cut up to where that center line on your cutting blade lines up with that center fold. The other thing you can do is there are measurements along your cutter here. And if you're using those, then you would just go up to the 4.25 inch. So this tab on this side is 1.5 inches deep. So by lining it up at the 4-inch mark, I just cut up to that half fold mark. You could also do the opposite and cut down. Just my preference. Anyway, so that's the cutting for all of them. If you're wanting to create more. Now, I tend to like having, because I'm right-handed, I like to have my little pocket on the left-hand side. So to close that up, I have some double-sided adhesive sticky tape. And I'm just going to put this along the left-hand side, as well as the bottom. Peel off the other side. And that's to create my little pocket. Now, I sometimes have people ask me, like, well, what if I for sure know I don't want them to be gift cards? Well, then you could just glue down right the center. You don't necessarily need to use double-sided sticky tape. Regular adhesive would be fine, because in that case, you're not as worried about it kind of withstanding that pressure that you would have with regards to it being a gift card holder. Now, for the paper for this one, I used the Celebration Penguin Playmates designer series paper. Now, you kind of notice here, I used the Just Jade with kind of that green undertone with regards to the designer series paper for that card. Now, this card has a blue undertone. So because of that, I'm using the Misty Moonlight paper. And adhesive here. Everything always goes out of the way when you're all of a sudden on camera. Now, I won't even lie, I have a couple of retired items in this kit. They're from last year. So it was one of the items is using the snowflake embossing folder. So the winter embossing folder. There's also a new embossing folder this season that's also snowflakes, but I like this one because it's a little bit wider. So I cut this out of Balmy Blue. It's 1¼ inches by 4 inches long. I'm just going to use regular adhesive to put that onto my little pocket there on the left-hand side. Next, I used the Taylormade Die Set. This is the first time I've used these. And what I actually really liked about it is it gave you that perforated edging, kind of that little dots all around the periphery. But it also gave you a hole that was already all pre-cut. So I love that. Look, it's already pre-punched. You don't have to punch a hole. It's just ready to go. So from that, I had a little piece of pool party ribbon. I think that's the pool party gross grain ribbon from the catalog this season. And I just tied single knot there. Snipped it at an angle on either end. Now from this stamp set, there was a really cute little stamp. It said, be cool, be chilly, be chill, and be merry. So again, I had my pool party ink pad, inked that up. I'm just going to kind of stamp that right along the bottom edge. I've already pre-punched. So I used the punch that coordinates with the Penguin Place stamp set. And now I've already pre-cut just to be efficient on video. I cut this out of the black glimmer paper. Isn't that super cute for the penguins? And then in the main annual catalog this year, we actually have an ombre set of paper which is glimmer paper. And I use that to cut the cute little orange feet. And I've already pre-stamped, just for the efficiency of being online, my eyes and my little beak for my little penguin. So the beak, I used Mango Melody, and that coordinates with my feet, also being Mango Melody. And then I used Memento Black for the eyes. It's really quite a cute stamp set, right? It has some really cute little things that can be used for non-Christmas as well. Like there's a balloon and balloon string. Do you know what I mean? And there's the option to put little reindeer antlers on your penguin, a couple of other little features. So you have the option of either stamping the feet or punching them out. So I think there's lots of versatility with it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of adhesive, put it on the back of my little penguin friend. Take a little dot of glue and put it behind each foot. I'm just using Tombow white glue here. Okay, so while he dries for a second, I also have in the kit here a white piece of paper for the inside of your card. Now, just to let you know, it's not quite square. So it's 3 3/4 inches across, this white piece of paper, and then 4 inches in length. And that's because this is actually 4 inches in diameter from the edge of the pocket to the edge here, and then 4 1/4 inches from the crease to the end. So just be mindful of that. Do you know what I mean when you're gluing that down? And that's the same with the designer series paper on the front of the card. So it's 3 3/4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. And that's something to keep in mind, especially when you're cutting the penguin paper where it is directional. So I'm gonna take my little tag now, put a little bit of adhesive on the back. And then I'm gonna put a couple of dimensionals onto the back of my little penguin. And he's all done. Isn't that cute? And I think it's one of those things where penguins don't necessarily have to be for little kids. Like I think it's great, you know, especially pandemic, we're mailing more gift cards or checks or things like that because we might not necessarily be getting together in person. But I think getting this from a colleague or a friend would be fabulous as well. Kind of brightens your day. How can you not smile when you see that little penguin? Okay, I'm just going to pull up the next thing. Just going to pause my video for a second and then I'll momentarily restart with the next card. Okay, so here is the next card that I want to share. And it's using the Gingerbread suite that is in the Holiday Mini Catalog. This one, again, also has a retired embossing folder, but everything else is current and from this catalog. It definitely took me a couple of tries with this one because I just wanted to get the right color combination, really to get that essence of gingerbread. So I'm using a dark espresso background, and then as well as the brand new craft 6x6 paper. From that, I put those dies. Because I'm using so much from the main catalog right now. They're the Switched So Sweetly dies. I'm using this one here. And then I also use the dies and the stamp set, as well as the paper. It was like using everything. Got to pull out everything some days and just use it all. So what I really love about this one, so kind of jumping around here a little bit. So I did use the Gingerbread and Peppermint Designer Series paper. And what's really fabulous about that is using the coordinating die set. Oh, I guess you don't need to see I have these little plastic plates, and I'm always using them so I don't lose my dies. So in there's an ornament shape, a bell shape, a star, and a snowflake. And in the paper are all of these ornaments that you can just take that die, place it on the paper, and it perfectly cuts out like the bell. That's how I got that. Cuts it out perfectly. So it works really great for, those really quick cards. It still has that hand stamped homemade vibe. And the thing is that for when you run out of paper, what's great is the coordinating stamp set, the frosted gingerbread stamp set. You could just stamp it in a crumb cake color and give that same essence of gingerbread for maybe takes an extra couple minutes to pull out your stamp pad. But what I love this is, especially when I'm doing kits in the mail, that there's no stamping and it looks so fabulous. So that is with that. I also used the stamp set for this one. The Wishing You a Merry Christmas was the one that I'm going to put on the card today. Oh, and if you want to see the rest of the dies, they look like that. So there's also some more intricate dies, and those coordinate around each of these. So I guess I put these back. So you can cut them out with just the general shape, or if you want to not, again, use more of your dies and less stamping, then you could do the more intricate part in like white, and then the background in like the craft paper, which I think it looks very gingerbread, or using like a crumb cake paper. So pulling everything out, again, I'm going to fold my gift card holder. Now, if you have someone that's like left-handed, you could always put, or if you just like it, just flip it the other way, and then all of a sudden your pocket is on the other side. I'm going to get out my adhesive here again. My kids love decorating gingerbread houses at Christmas. We don't actually eat them, but they love getting out all the candy. And I've discovered the kits now where you just like buy the whole kit, you hand them all the candy and say, go for it, which is so nice. It comes with the icing and everything. It's so easy peasy as a mom. Okay, so again, I'm going to put my white piece in first so I don't forget, remembering that it is just slightly rectangular. I'm going to also put on my red. I try not to use too much retired items, but sometimes it's nice to remind us all that, we don't always have to have the new item from the catalog every year. That often it's okay to, that's why we save stuff and while we buy stuff for our stashes, so that you can enjoy it and then using it a following year. This one was kind of hidden in last year's holiday catalog. It was actually with Halloween, and you know what? I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's kind of this swirly pattern, and I thought it just kind of emphasized the swirls on gingerbread, which is why I decided to use it. I'm going to put on my craft brown paper. I stamped my sentiment in real red to coordinate with the real red paper there, and then I have my, this is again from the Gingerbread and Peppermint Designer Series paper. Oh, that does not fit. I don't know what I was doing there. That was obviously a blooper. There should be a piece that's exactly that size in there. If it's not, and you're watching this video and you have a kit, I obviously had a very, very blonde moment. Because it happens to all of us. So in this case, I have a snowflake. I'm going to take my snowflake, pop a couple dimensionals on the back there. I used the Real Red ribbon from the catalog this season to create a cute little bow. I've done all the ornament ones. I haven't done one with the snowflake yet. I still think that looks cute. Cute with a little bow. The top kind of give it that ornamenty feel. And I think, oh look, I have an extra piece of paper right here. That is the correct length. I'm not sure what I was doing there. I hope that was the only one. It's okay, we're all human. No one is perfect. Again, super cute, super quick, and ready to go with the bell, with the snowflake. Okay, so I have, that's the gingerbread sets. I also did some with the star as well as with the ornament. So I think it's kind of one of those ones where it can kind of make it every card a little bit individualized without going crazy and completely changing your design. So that is the gingerbread card. Next up, I'm going to show you one utilizing the deer set in this month's catalog. I'm just going to pause my video again, and then I'll unpause and continue on. So this little card here, it's pretty heavy on items from the catalog. So I used the Peaceful Deer stamp set and coordinating punch, as well as the Sparkle of the Season stamp set with coordinating dies. So basically 2 bundles from the catalog. And that's with, if, like I mentioned before, if you're using the stamp set, that's the deer stamped directly onto the cardstock. And I got this idea actually from looking at the Celebration catalog. They had a little deer punched out of the designer series paper. I thought that was so cute and abstract as well. So paper-wise, background cardstock is Real Red. And then I used the Peaceful Prints from the designer series paper from the Celebration catalog. As mentioned, Peaceful Deer and coordinating deer punch. I think it's pretty obvious to punch out the deer, as well as I used the Merry Christmas stamp set. There's Merry Christmas in there that I used at the bottom. If you don't have the Merry Christmas, picking something out of your stash, it's perfectly perfect. And then from the Sparkle of the Season dies, I used, I took and cut it out of Evergreen cardstock, the wreath, kind of to give the greenery. And then using the new metallics paper, I used the little stars and I cut that out of gold, the metallic gold paper. And then last but not least, I used the double banner punch from the annual catalog to do the punching of that little Merry Christmas banner. Okay, so to pop one together, oh, and the red little jewels or gems are in the main annual catalog as well. Okay, so real red for the background. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of my tree paper. Again, dimensions are still the same, still 3 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. And then the small pocket piece of paper, designer series paper, is 1 1/4 inches by 4 inches. It really good at remembering your dimensions when you've cut out so many of these in a coordinating kit like this. So again, I have a take your pick tool sitting here. Maybe it helps if you have a sound effect. Okay, bending that down. Okay. Now, I have a non-Stampin' Up item here. I have a sticker making machine. And I knew that gluing down all of this greenery would take forever. So I just took a bone folder here, kind of burnished it to make sure everything's sticking well, get rid of any excess defect. I'm just going to lift it off. Just to give you a hint, the bottom where there's like a little X is the bottom. You kind of have one shot with this because it is quite sticky at this point, but it's just so lovely not having, oh, I thought it was lovely. Not having to glue every individual piece. So pop that down. Now, because of the fact that somehow there's always a little bit of extra glue that leaches out. But I find if you take your finger, just kind of like gently rub it, kind of all goes away. Okay. And here in this little envelope, now this one I've also stickered, but I used the 6x12 Stampin' Up adhesive sheets, and I put that onto the whole back of my like the metallic cardstock before I ran it through. So it made everything into a sticker. I tried to do the same thing with the Evergreen cardstock, but it was just too thick. It wasn't cutting very well with that adhesive on the back, which is why I went to Plan B of my sticker machine. Okay, then there's dimensionals behind the little deer. And I'm going to use, like I said, a little Merry Christmas. I'm stamping the sentiment in real red. This little white piece of paper was 3.5 inches long, and it is 1/2 inch wide. Pop that on the bottom there. And then last but not least, I'm going to use my take your pick tool. This is so nice for picking up all these little jewels that otherwise get stuck to your fingers. And I just put them about every third. So like here, here, and here in little groups of 3, just to make it mimic as if it was holly on the evergreen wreath here. So there's 9 on each. Oops, not quite enough. I think it's such kind of a fun way to add, kind of draw that red color back in. There's so much green. Just make it look fabulous. Add the Christmas sparkle. What I really like about this gift card is I feel it's quite masculine, perhaps a little bit more masculine if you're using the stamped ear, but I feel that this one is still masculine enough as well. So I think that's perfect. Just for those men in our life to give the perfect card. So again, complete, just a few minutes and it's ready to go. Okay, the last card we're going to do tonight is using the Evergreen Punch set and the Joy to the World embossing folder. So I'm just going to pause, grab all my stuff, and then we'll restart one last time. Okay, so I'm back, and here's the very last gift card holder or card for the night. So I just wanted to show you that Evergreen Punch. This is something that I don't think they've done in a while. I'm just going to use a little bit of a scrap here to show you how it works. So basically, when you're looking down at the top, you can kind of see the evergreen image. You want to start your paper by lining it up with the edge of the tree here. So it's kind of an estimate. Punch down and then move it over so that the trees line up here on the sides. You can see that there's images of trees. So you just want to move it to the right, or I guess if you're moving left, if you're starting at this edge, again, and then just keep going down. So then if I wanted to continue again, then you would just move your trees down again and continue to punch down the entire length of the paper. So I think what's really neat about this is it gives you product, these trees, and very quick order. What's lovely is you can do them in whatever color you wish. I've seen them online in like silver or gold, which I think would look fabulous. I also used the Label Me Lovely punch for my sentiment up here. Now here in this one, I used the ribbon, the gold ribbon in this season's catalog. That's the gold shimmer ribbon. And then I also did a couple of other ones using the cherry cobbler and gold ribbon. So both of them look really pretty. Just using that gold, it's just fabulous. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you which designer series paper that is in the back here because someone is going to ask me. It's the Peaceful Place designer series paper. Just going to pull everything out. And then I also, from the annual catalog, used my poinsettia dies to cut out the little mini poinsettias out of the metallic paper. Now you're going to laugh. Actually, you know how in the last card we had cut out the gold wreaths? There was just enough paper left in the middle to cut out the poinsettia. So paper saving and crafting, that gold paper is precious, right? You don't want to waste it. So I'm going to grab my adhesive. These are such nice assembly line cards. If anyone knows me, Never like to make just like one of something. I'm totally a person that makes like 50 of something. Start using my take pick tool here. Use your take pick tool. It can just like slides right underneath the double-sided tape. Just takes it off. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the left there. Now I did use the new musical, I don't know what the name is, the Joy to the World, I'm calling it, embossing folder. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I actually looked it up. It does actually write out Joy to the World, the song. And that's why if you're scratching your head, wondering what stamp set that is from, you're gonna have to dig further back because it's actually from the Tin of Tag stamp set, which is long ago retired. But I felt because the music was Joy to the World, maybe I'd be the only one as the card maker to know, but I felt that it needed to say Joy to the World there too. I know, some days I have moments. So that's why it says Joy to the World. Now I think these houses are super cute, part of the Peaceful Prince set. Until I'm on my last card. My whole workstation on this end that you can't see on camera looks like chaos. Okay. Oh, if you haven't gotten this far and you're not doing it with me moment by moment, I would strongly advise, so I was so excited about doing this card that I kind of missed an important step. What I would do instead is take and glue your trees onto your designer series paper, flip it over, cut off the back, and then glue it on. I have another piece of paper here to show you what that means. See, in my excitement, sometimes I forget these little tips. Okay, so what I would do is take and use a little bit of white glue or glue dots, glue it on like this, flip it over, snip, snip, then it's perfect. And then take that whole essence where everything is glued on and perfect and glue it onto here. Please forgive my inability to think that through sometimes. Get a little camera happy. Okay, so in order to still fix my blender, I'm gonna stick that down. And if you've already done it, and do it like I am, gently measure. No one will know. It'll be okay. If you wanted to make your trees to go right to the edge, that would actually look really cute too. I should have thought of that. See, I'll do this one first, a little bit longer. Yeah, if it actually goes over to the edge of the cherry cobbler paper, past the designer series paper, that also looks equally quite cute. But now that I've cut one edge shorter, it looks a little funny. See if I can get my tree straight. As you can see, it's much easier to do it one of the two other ways. Perfect. Okay, that is good. Now these little poinsettias do have that double-sided adhesive tape on the back. So you just need to glue it on. This one, I think I'm going to change that, put it right in the center. Like that. This one I put at the edge. Cute, 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 cute. Either way. I'm going to also, because of my gluing, cutting blenders, I guess you could say, I'm going to sneak a little bit of so you can always fix your mistakes as a crafter, and then no one knows. Okay. Now I have my Joy to the World in cherry cobbler here. Oh, if you're wondering about other colors for this one as well, the background designer series, background cardstock is cherry cobbler. And then it's basic gray for the music notes. Now this part I'm going to get right. Okay, so I'm going to take my Joy to the World, flip it over, put a piece of adhesive on the back. Usually I put a couple pieces. And take my ribbon, lay it across, and then fold it in. I usually fold it in so that it kind of overlaps a little bit, so you can kind of visualize more ribbon from the front. Got to let all that shimmery gold and cherry cobbler come out. From there, I'm going to pop a bunch of dimensionals onto the back. I kind of lay mine sometimes halfway over the ribbon. It kind of secures the ribbon. Plus, provides the dimension, does double duty, I guess. I want my hoses all to show. And there you go. You can still see enough of the cute little cat pens. And that's it. That's the last card. So thanks for joining me to make these 4 beautiful gift card holders. I hope you took something away that you can use for your own crafting. If you're making the kit with me online, I hope that you like these designs as much as I do. And if you still want to order a kit, just send me a quick private message, and I'd be happy to give you a price either for a local pickup in Edmonton or for letter mail shipping across Canada. Have a great evening and happy Christmas crafting.